जो तू मिटाना चाहे जीवन के कृष्णा, जो तू मिटाना चाहे जीवन के कृष्णा, सुबह व शाम बोल बंदे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा, सुबह व शाम बोल बंदे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा, जो तू मिटाना चाहे जीवन के कृष्णा, जो तू मिटाना चाहे जीवन के कृष्णा, सुबह व शाम बोल बंदे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा, सुबह व शाम बोल बंदे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा. Good day all. Government is slavery. Government is slavery. Welcome to today's conversation on the natural laws of the universe. Welcome to another session on the natural laws of the universe, where we discuss matters that actually do matter, where we discuss matters that do matter, issues of human authority, issues of morality, knowing the objective difference between that which is right and that which is wrong. Knowing the objective difference between that which is right and that which is wrong. In nature. In nature. So, we're continuing from the previous video, and this video is entitled Controlled Opposition. Controlled opposition, or the dialectic system. Right? But before we go there, I just wanted to point out a couple things. We had spoken before about religion and the mental tactics, the mental manipulation tactics in religion and so on. And last night I was just thinking back on how when people buy land or go to build house and so on, that there are certain things that people do that is really not necessary to do, such as offering punch and rum and cigarettes to the spirits on the land and all these kind of things, right? Offering. This is something in several traditions, different traditions. Is it, I suppose, emerged from a combination of different cultures and so on. But there's this tradition, I don't know if it occurs other places in the world, but in Trinidad and Tobago, I know it's a thing, that people tend to offer cigarettes, rum, alcohol, maybe even blood, right, to animal blood and so on, to places before they construct buildings, before buildings are constructed, before houses are built, when land is purchased and so on. There's no need to offer cigarette. If you have to be offering cigarettes and rum and animal blood, right, to the land or to the spirits that govern the land, do you think that is of God, right? Do you think that is something that is of the divine, that is of God, that is of light, right? There really is no need to do these things, right? I believe common sense could tell people this, that there really is no, it's not necessary to be doing those kinds of things, right? It has no real value in human morality. There's no real value in that in human. If you want, you can say your own silent prayer or loud prayer or whatever, but in terms of offering rum, cigarettes, animal blood, human blood, whatever people do to bring prosperity to land or to your house or so on, it is not necessary, and it is neither moral, right? It's neither necessary nor moral, right? So yeah, back to the conversation on controlled opposition. Controlled opposition. Now, this is a divide and conquer strategy as a mental manipulation tool. It is based on it's how the political system is set up. It is how the political system is set up to get us to vote for a particular party. So the illusion of choice is presented to us. The illusion of choice is presented to us. Democratic versus Republican, PNM versus UNC, right? The illusion of choice. Now, this is why I was scrolling YouTube the other day and I saw something about one of these tarot readers. There was like, oh, this person was playing checkers, but this one playing chess, right? And I'll tell you why you being good at chess and me being good at checkers, right? I'll tell you why you being good at chess doesn't even matter, right? I'll tell you why you being good at chess doesn't even matter, right? I don't have to play chess. I don't have to play chess. I don't have to be good at chess, right? To win the game of life, right? I don't have to be good at chess to win the game of life. You know why? Because regardless if I am better at checkers and you are better at chess, there's still a mastermind freaking manipulator on top of the both of us, right? There's still a mastermind manipulator at the top of us who will win the game regardless. Who will win the game regardless, right? So, me being better at checkers and and being on this side of the table of the chess of the board, and you being better at chess and thinking that you are playing me, right? You are only playing yourself. You are only playing yourself, because the reality is that we are both playing the game. We are both playing the game of life, but at the top is the real occult master, the real occult masters, right? Who will ultimately win? Who will ultimately win, right? And that is why whether or not you are good at chess or checkers doesn't matter in this life, right? You're still playing the game, right? You're still playing the game. So divide and conquer strategy, the facade of a choice, right? To get people to choose a side. So they will present two options to you, right? This is what they do. Present two options to you, force you to pick a side. Present two options to you, force you to choose a side, right? And the side that you choose, regardless of the side that you choose, it is going to be in accordance with the predetermined agenda. It is going to be in accordance with the fulfillment of the predetermined agenda, right? So you all hear this new world agenda and all this thing for ages now, right? You all been hearing this term, right? This thing was developed long before me and you was even born, you know. It was developed long before me and you was even born, and that is why to say, this is why I'm coming here to say that you voting, or you thinking that, yeah, my political party, yeah, UNC, let me wave my flag, yeah, PNM, let me wave my flag. Why that does not matter in the grander scheme of things? Because regardless of the choice that you choose, regardless of the political party that you choose, right, the predetermined agenda has already been set out. The predetermined agenda has already been laid out, right? And this illusion of choice is what ties up people, and this is the mental manipulator, the biggest mental manipulative strategy. This is the biggest mental manipulation strategy that government uses, right? Best friends behind the scenes, right? And getting you to carry out their work, right? Getting you to carry out their work, right? This is how, and people have been saying, oh, prophecy is currently being fulfilled. Yes, it is currently being fulfilled, and it is being fulfilled through all of us, right? Prophecy is being fulfilled through all of us, right? Because there are certain things in the world that was already set out. There were certain things in the world that was already set out to be accomplished, right? Whether or not we like it, right? Whether or not we like it, and that's and we may be saying, oh, this party is further and this agenda, this party is further and this agenda, when in the long run the agenda is going to be fulfilled regardless, right? In the long run the agenda is to be fulfilled, right? So be it, but anyhow, so this control opposition, right? So it's about one master controlling the dialectic dynamic, right? One or a few masters controlling the dialectic dynamic. What I mean by this is that you have two opposing sides in seemingly contradiction to each other, right? Two opposing teams, two opposing sides, right? And these sides are seemingly opposed to or antithetical to each other. But the reality is, behind the scenes, there's actually best friends. Right? Behind the scenes, they are best friends. Right? But it is being presented as being in seeming contradiction to, antithetical to each other, right? Or opposing or in conflict with each other, right? And this is one of the biggest strategy that occultists use, master occultists use, to pit people against each other on purpose. This is a joke for them. This is a game for them, right? They put people against each other, right? In competition, right? That's why I am not interested in and that's why I will always win, like, for myself, right? Because I am not in competition with anybody. Like that has never been my goal, right? If I came across so to anybody, I humbly apologize, but this competition is not my scene, right? I am just here doing my thing, being myself. But what they do is, and this happens in sports. You see it happening in entertainment industry, and so it is sports. Sports is competitive in nature, right? So it's all part of the game. It's all part of the game of life, right? The illusion that we live in. So anyhow, why I had decided to leave the sociology department. I think people might be wondering, oh, I was such a big sociology lover. Sociology runs in my vein and all this, right? I love sociology still, but it's the organized thing that I don't like, right? It's the organized situation that I am actually against. Because all of these same divide and conquer strategies, it operates at different levels throughout governmental and state institutions, right? All these different strategies operate at different levels of governmental organizations, state institutions, and educational institutions. The same divide and I noticed that, right? Because what happened in sociology and so on, as you ascend academically, you get to see things from different angles, and I pick up on things fairly. My spirit is sensitive to certain things, so I pick up on certain things without people having to even tell me. So you would notice that as you ascend in the sociology department, and this may apply for other disciplines as well, it would apply in governmental institutions as well. As you ascend in that organization, you start to see things from different lens, right? You start to see how things function from a different perspective, right? From a different perspective, right? And it becomes more challenging actually, and that is why I find some people saying, oh well, I prefer to remain at the base level, at the lower levels of these organizations, because at the lower level of the organizations, you really don't have to deal with the kind of bullshit that you have to put up with as you ascend in the governmental institutions. You don't have to put up with the bullshit, right? That because as you ascend academically, as you ascend in organizations, there is more bullshit to be had, right? There's more bullshit to be had, and people who have experience in this would be able to relate it, right? So that's why I leave. Sociology should not be influencing me more than I am influencing it, right? Sociology should not be influencing me more than I am influencing it, and that is why I chose to leave the system. That is why I chose to leave the system. Because sociology and anthropology and so on, meaning culture, sociology, was influencing me more than me being able to influence it. So now I am in a position where I can influence. Imagine I was allowed. Now, the reason why I always say I am the real deal, the reason I say that I am the real deal, is because I am not afraid, right, to utter these three words that the whole world, right, actually have a problem with uttering. That, hey, I may have had erroneous belief systems, such as the belief in government, right? I may have had erroneous belief systems, right? And I was wrong, right? 3 words. 3 simple words that could change your life forever, right? 3 simple words that can change your life forever. The words, I was wrong, right? And admit to yourself that there are certain belief systems that you have been practicing, right? That there are certain belief systems that you have been entertaining, practicing that is against your best interest, that is against your higher spiritual self and spiritual calling, right? So this is what I have had to do, right? This is with this spiritual path that I am treading. This is what I have had to do. Admit these things to myself, right? Yeah, so imagine I was allowing like sociologists in UWI, right, or anthropologists and higher occult anthropologists, because as you ascend higher academically is higher in the dark occult that you go, right? So anthropologists who would have influenced me, right, not directly, I mean through their works and so on, through their works to go to like to do research on what, you see, what these organizations do, state and academic organizations. They teach you to search for answers beyond yourself, right? They teach you to search for answers outside of the self, right? And this is where the problem occurs, because we can't, this is just with politics too. With politics, what it is that they teach you, hey, I must depend, right? I must depend for my satisfaction because I have a daddy wound inside of me, right? Because I have a daddy wound inside of me, right? I must depend on Papa government. I must depend on daddy government to fulfill emotionally and mentally and whatever ways to fulfill that wound, that childhood wound that I have had inside of me, right? That is why healing takes place only after you leave that system. That is why real healing root healing can only take place when you leave that system and do what you incarnated here to do, right? Whatever that might be, right? When you leave that system and perform the duty that you were truly incarnated to perform, right? That is when your root healing will take place. Right, so just imagine the state I had to be in, the mentally deranged state I had to be in, right? In my past, when I allowed these anthropologists to tell me to search outside of who I am, right? Because the project we had to do, right? We had a project in anthropology to do. And this project was based on go and find out. Now this video will provide answers to people who was in my year group who just passed through the system without, or unthinkingly, right? We were told to do a anthropology, a culture project, a culture thesis, a project, qualitative project on a culture outside of our own. Right? Teaching you to seek the answers from outside of yourself. The natural laws of the universe exist in your own culture, right? The natural laws are, rest assured, natural laws of the universe, that which you need to know to navigate this life. That which you need to know to navigate this life. It exists in your culture, right? There's no need to search externally, right? There's no need to search externally for it. If you are Hindu, it exists in the Hindu religion. If you are Muslim, it exists in the Muslim religion. If you are Christian, it exists there, right? Whatever ethnicity you are, the roots of that ethnicity, the natural laws of the universe exist, right? So yeah, just imagine I was being influenced. I was allowing myself, so I'm putting the blame on me. I was allowing myself to be influenced by master occultists, right? By master occultists who tell me to go and search for the answer outside of my own culture, right? Who told me to go and search for the answer outside of my own way of life, outside of my own essence, right? So I know that I am vegetarian. Why would I choose to find myself as a vegetarian in a Kali temple in Page, right? In temples, all Kali temples, Shakti temples throughout the country, where they sacrifice animals, right? Now they are different. They are Sada temples as well, right? Where they sacrifice, where they use coconuts and stuff to worship. I don't have a problem with that. But why would I allow myself for academic purposes, right? And this is, I'm showing you all how mental manipulation takes place without us realizing it. As a vegetarian person who holds solidly to vegetarian principles, why would I have allowed myself to be influenced to go to a Shakti temple where they sacrifice animals and I saw an animal neck being sliced right before my eyes, right? Which was traumatic to me, which was quite traumatic to me, right? I'm teaching you all how this manipulation works. Once you enter this organization, it's an entire inversion of reality. It's an entire inversion of reality that takes place, right? So such that I who holds so solidly all my life the vegetarian principles, why would I go for academic purposes, right? To a Shakti temple to see an animal neck being cracked just for the sake of observing, right? Just for the sake of participant observation. It is all trash, right? It is all a game. It is all part of the game. It is all mental manipulation, right? So I should be influencing Keith McNeill. That's a famous, well, a well-known anthropologist, right? For those who are in sociology and anthropology, I should be influencing Keith McNeill more than I have allowed Keith McNeill to influence me, right? I should be the one influencing Keith McNeill more than I have allowed Keith McNeill to influence me, because Keith would have done a research, done a whole book on Shakti worship and so on too, right? So all this time Keith McNeill was searching all these temples, right? Keith, you were really searching for me, right? You were really searching for me, right? So you have influenced me in my past. Now it is time for me to influence you, right? Now it is time for me to influence you, right? So the natural laws of the universe, karma is always in effect, right? Karma is always in effect.